Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Ash, and today I'm going to be doing a quick review for 35mm on Xbox. Now, this was released by Sometimes You, and it's developed by Noskov Sergey, who, if you remember, I did a review of In the Rays of Light, which I believe is from him as well, and I really enjoyed that. It was a very cool sort of walking sim set in sort of like an apocalyptic sort of Eastern Europe setting, basically. Now, this was released on the 2nd of March 2022. It's playable on Xbox One and Xbox Series X and S, and it's a post-apocalyptic story about two travellers who set out on a long journey into the wasteland that's left by people after the pandemic. Now, with everything that's going on in the world at the moment, it's a bad time. Like I say, like with the stuff going on with Russia and the Ukraine and the pandemic and stuff, and this is sort of set in Russia. It's a bit like close to home in that aspect. But playing it as a game, like I say, it is a perfectly decent game. So basically, this pandemic disaster has destroyed much of the world's population. Infrastructure went wrong, and common life remained only in memories. The times when a human has adapted the environment for himself have ended, and basically now, in order to survive, you have to adapt to the changes. So you start off thrown straight into it. You're at this abandoned house with this other survivor, and he basically says, "Right, let's get going," and you just set off. And there's a lot of exploration in this game, a lot of slow paced looking around, quite big areas. Like I say, it does feel very open worldy. It can get a bit lost sometimes. You've got to obviously listen to what the other survivor is saying for clues on where to go and what to look for, etc. But the environments themselves are very detailed, very bleak, but they work sort of really, really well. I quite enjoyed them, and the soundtrack and everything like that work really well. It's a very sort of grey, sort of washed out colour palette that's used for the graphics, and I feel it works really well in the sort of story and the genre of the game, basically. And it's a very sort of well told sort of little story. Now, you're not just doing sort of wandering around and stuff like that. You do have other things. It's not just a walking sim. There's a good majority of it is a walking sim, but at some points in it there are sort of action scenes, a lot of quick time event ones, like combat. There's also sort of shooting sections and chase sections, etc., to sort of mix it up. The quick time events aren't that great, but you can overlook them for the rest of the game. But it's really cool. Like I say, it's you feel very isolated and alone a lot of the time. It's really downtrodden. The music, etc., weaves into that really well with the sound effects and stuff. It looks good in some areas. Like I say, the areas and the environments look really good. The character models aren't that great. They're the only thing that I would say are a slight letdown. But in terms of like the gameplay, if you've ever played a walking sim, interacting with items, etc., picking things up, searching for hints and clues to sort of like follow on the story, you'll know what you're getting into. But like I say, it does get the pace right later on, where there's sort of more like actiony scenes and stuff like that. So you do feel like there's not many people around and you are pretty much alone. But the game itself, you're looking at probably about 4 to 5 hours, depending on how quickly you get through it. Achievement-wise, there's some that are quite tricky to get, so you may have to have a second playthrough with a guide to sort of get the extra achievements. But like I say, it's a very good game. I do prefer In the Rays of Light. It's not as technical as this game. There's a lot more added to this game. There's bigger environments. There's obviously the quick time events and the shooting, etc. But I preferred in the rays of light, or in the ray of light, to 35mm. But this game is still really good if you like these sort of apocalyptic sort of wasteland survivor sort of stories, the sort of settings. Then I highly recommend you check this out. So it's available right now on the Xbox Store, and it's priced at £8.39. And I would assume eventually it will probably get a next gen version as well. They did do that with a lot of their games, sometimes but right now it's only available on the Xbox One and Xbox Series X and S via backwards compatibility. But that is Xbox One X enhanced with 4K resolutions. But that's it for this video, guys. If you've enjoyed it, hit that like button, hit subscribe, and we'll see you soon for more content. Bye for now.